I always want to rock out to that song, but then I can't because of money and stuff. Listen, I can't emphasize enough. Okay. Let me just. If you think this story doesn't get any crazier, just give it another hour. Give it another hour, and things start to come out. Things start to arise from the horizon. Is this a Nicholas Sparks novel, or is this a crime scene? Okay, is this a freaking Nicholas Sparks novel, or this a freaking crime scene? Somebody tell me in the chat. Somebody tell me in the chat, is this a Nicholas Sparks novel or a crime scene? Because the media is kind of alluding to me or showing to me that this is a little bit of a love story. And we should really be focusing on that. This isn't just a horrible, heinous assassination that happened in America. It's actually a love story about the lengths a man will go for his furry. This is something that should be passed down to the generations. In fact, I think this novel should be in all LGBTQ novel movie sections. Yeah, press the like button. What's up, Queen? It's been a minute. The reporter thinks it's lovely. He's disgusting. That's what I'm saying, Jessica. This is nuts, okay? This is freaking nuts. You think I'm crazy, okay? You think I'm crazy. So the text messages come out about between the furry lover and the f***ing assassin, and the media's response is it's actually quite touching. It's actually quite touching. If you think about the love that they had between each other, think about how it touches you in all the right ways. Touching me in my no-no zone. I'm gonna come. Okay, listen to this. This is absolutely nuts.
We have seen an alleged murder with such specific text messages about the alleged murder weapon, where it was hidden, how it was placed, what was on it, but also it was very touching in a way that I think many of us didn't expect.
It's very touching. It was very touching.
Placed, what was on it, but also it was very touching in a way that I think many of us didn't expect.
Yes.
A very intimate portrait into this relationship between the suspect's roommate and the suspect himself, with him repeatedly calling his roommate, who is transitioning, calling him my love, and I want to protect you, my love.
Stop it!
So it was this duality of someone who the attorney said not only jeopardized the life of Charlie Kirk and the crowd, but was doing it in front of children, which is one of the aggravating circumstances of this case. And on the other hand, he was, speaking so lovingly about his partner. So a very interesting and, as Pierre said, riveting press conference, David.
It was tough.
It was, Todd. It was quite riveting and quite lovely to actually see two lovers on the nightscape just texting back and forth. Two lovers. I swear that they read this charging documents, and they put it to sexual music in the background, and they were just like, oh yeah. Robinson text roommate, I'm still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little longer yet. Yeah. Shouldn't be long till I come home, but I gotta go grab my rifle still, if you know what I mean. To be honest, I'd hope I'd keep this a secret. Just a little bit longer. I'm sorry to involve you. You weren't the one who did it, right? Don't tell me, Daddy. I'm sorry, my love. I want you guys, when I'm reading this, I want you to think about this happening. I want you to think about the roommate and him kind of enjoying this, a night on the town, just doing dog tricks for each other. Doing furry dog tricks. This isn't a mental disease. This is totally normal and natural. This isn't something that we should be all afraid of and fear for our lives that grown adults are doing this out in the public. This is something to be celebrated. Can you feel the celebration just rising up in all the right areas? Oh. Wait, I want to go back to the beginning where he says,
but also, it was very touching in a way that I think many of us didn't expect.
Oh, say it one more time for us, Daddy. Okay, yeah. What was it again? What was it?
Placed, what was on it, but also it was very touching in a way that I think many of us didn't expect. A very intimate portrait into this relationship.
Yeah. Turned it off. Isn't that freaking nuts? Isn't that freaking nuts? You have a freaking assassin that murdered somebody in cold blood in front of hundreds of college-age students and gave us all freaking PTSD because we all watched that video, and a lot of us actually like Charlie Kirk, and so it's like feels like a friend died, and the media's like, you know what? Do you guys know what? This is actually a very touching story. This is touching me. This is touching me. That's psychotic. That's crazy. Dude, you should be fired for saying that. That is crazy. And the fact that the anchor's like, exactly. Such a touching segment between the two. Such a sexual touching session. God. Love is all that matters, says Rob. Even more aggravated political assassins. Yeah, I feel like the media is saying, you know, public assassinations are okay as long as there's a good love story to back it up. Oh, I said it. I'm not afraid to say it. I love a good love story. God, dude. What? What are you talking about, dude? You do look good with that shirt on, though, with that beautiful hair. God, dude. These people are nuts, dude. We are not the same. We are not the same. We are not the same at all. So we found out, first of all, he was charged with, and they are seeking the death penalty with him. And this is him finding out that they're seeking the death penalty. This video even looks a little AI. You know, it's like, it's 2025. Can we not have a little HD in some of these prisons? Hello. How much does an HD camera cost these days? Probably absolutely nothing. Star-crossed dressed lovers. Yes, that sounds like a song. Star-crossed dressed lovers in the middle of the night. Babe, will you assassinate somebody for me? No. Okay. So here's him finding it out with his vest on. He's got his cute little vest on. You look like a tech bro with that vest on.
Other business that we need to address today, Council.
Just for the court's information, we did file just recently, within the last few minutes, a notice of intent to seek the death penalty. That was filed by Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray. So that should be in the court's file.
Looking in the eyes of a killer, or as ABC says, the eyes of a lover. I can't. I just like, you know, there's like my family members, maybe some of your family members, maybe some family members of family members that you know watch ABC still for their news, and it's like, oh yeah, this is great news. This is the kind of real hard-hitting news I've been looking forward to. I feel like I need to hear it one more time because I still can't believe my ears when they said that.
Was hidden, how it was placed, what was on it, but also it was very touching in a way that I think many of us didn't expect. A very intimate portrait into this relationship between the suspect's roommate and the suspect himself, with him repeatedly calling his roommate who was transitioning, calling him my love, and I want to protect you, my love. So it was this duality of someone who the attorney said...
This duality? Shut up, my God, dude. You know, it's like there's like some sexual tension. There's tension in the air. You can feel it. I can feel it. Many of us. It's like, does somebody need to give this dude a hug? Like, God. He's like, actually, I wish my own girlfriend would write something like this. This is stuff that she writes to my wife's boyfriend.
Not only jeopardized the life of Charlie Kirk and the crowd, but was doing it in front of children, which is one of the aggravating circumstances of this case. And on the other hand, he was, you know, speaking so lovingly about his partner. So a very interesting and, as Pierre said, riveting press conference, David.
Freaking A, dude. He looks like Newsom's buddy. Newsom. I can see him and Newsom getting along, actually. I don't know what it is about, like, if you're a man in your 40s or 50s and your hair still looks that good, I don't trust you. It's just a rule that I have for myself, and I think it's a rule that you should apply to yourself as well. It's too car salesman-like. So the text messages between the two were published today, and many people are putting these text messages through ChatGPT. And even ChatGPT is saying it feels kind of fake. Now, there is some interesting things about these text messages back and forth between the star-dressed, as Dick Carroll says, the star-dressed cross lovers. There is some interesting things to note in this text messaging feed between each other. I don't know if you see these little dots. This seems to implicate to me, and I'm sure it implicates to you as well, that they are cutting out entire portions of this conversation back and forth. This is their way of saying that whatever these ... is, that information is not important. Well, for those of us that tend to not trust the FBI because we're all completely sane human beings in this world, in this video, and you're live with me, and we're hanging out, and we're having a good time, we don't necessarily trust what they give us. And in fact, we have like our antennas up. So when I see these dots, I think, what the heck are they hiding from us? What are they not showing? Well, what are we missing out on? Because, baby, I need to see some more love. I want to know what's actually going on. Some of the stuff that we got, he goes on, this is what they've given us, okay? The exchange that happened on September 10th, 2025. And this is from the roommate. Police interviewed Robinson's roommate, a biological male, who was involved in a romantic relationship with Robinson. The roommate told police that the roommate received messages from Robinson about the shooting and provided those messages to the police. So this is messages between them two. On September 10th, 2025, the roommate received a text message from Robinson which said, hold on. He received the text messages from Robinson, as ABC wants me to read it. Drop what you're doing and look under the keyboard. Yeah. And the roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, I had an opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. God. So underneath the keyboard was a note. And then there was a text message back and forth. Robinson goes on to say, I'm still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little bit longer. Shouldn't be long until I come home. I got to grab my rifle still. To be honest, I hoped to keep this a secret till I died in old age.
Emotional damage.
That is so good. Dude, I hope they keep this a little secret. But until I died in old age. What do you think? This is like Ocean's 11? You're going to get away from the crime scene? You're going to commit one of the most heinous assassinations ever in my lifetime, probably in your lifetime, in any lifetime that goes live on every single platform, and you think you're just going to die in old age? You're going to be smoking a stogie, and you're going to be like, I got away with this one. He goes on to say, I'm sorry to involve you. Well, then why are you texting? See, there's a lot of conspiracies going around. There's the one conspiracy that I seem to like, I kind of lean on, and I kind of understand what's actually... Is this favorite song Love Gun? Yeah, it is. It's got to be. There's a conspiracy going around about this text message feed saying that this text message feed is actually him trying to get his boyfriend off. And not in that kind of way, but in a way that is to get him off from being implicit in this whole scheme. So people are starting to think that the conversation between them two was fabricated between them two to make sure his boyfriend didn't also get charged with him. And I wonder if that's even on the point, because it honestly, what's up, Chris? It honestly makes me wonder. A lot of these text messages between him and his boyfriend are just on point about all the information, all the little secret notes, all the things that are going on. It's very curious that people are talking like this, and the way he's talking back and forth. I mean, these are long texts. I don't know if you text people, but when I text people, I never text sentences like this, nor do I do multiple sentences unless you're autistic. Roommate said, you weren't the one who did it, right? And Robinson said, yes, I am. I'm sorry. And then roommate said, I thought they caught that person. Robinson said, no, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone with similar clothing. I plan to grab my rifle from the drop point shortly. See, I don't know if you're like me, but when I see something that says, I plan to grab everything, wait. Where is this? I'm still okay, my love. What the? Okay. When he goes on to say, no, some crazy old dude, but when he goes on to say, I had planned to grab my rifle from the drop point. Drop point. Did somebody drop the rifle for you? Is this like a cache? Are you going geocaching with your rifle? My rifle is the geocache. You just got to go find it. You just go find it for us. This is BS, says Kristen. It sounds very interesting. It sounds contrived. It does sound contrived. And this is just allegedly. Right. Why are you telling yourself if you wanted to keep it a secret? Yeah, that's a very confusing thing. I wanted to keep this a secret, but now I'm telling you in this text message feed. Well, he was a backdoor man. I plan to grab my rifle from a drop point shortly, but most of the side of the town is locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. Roommate says, why? Robinson said, why did I do it? Yeah, I had enough of his hatred. Okay. Some hate can't be negotiated out. And again, this could be a legit text messaging feed. None of us actually know. It's just kind of interesting. I do think this kid was in it, but I tend to lean on the side that there's a lot of people involved, and that's just my idea. I had enough of his hatred. Some of his hate can't be negotiated out. If I'm able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it, hopefully they've moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it. And roommate says, how long have you been planning this? Robinson says, a bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there's a squad car parked right to it. I think they already swept that spot, so I don't want to chance it. Robinson says, I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got out to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man, do people call their dad's old man or grandpa's old man? I'm worried my old man would do if I didn't bring back grandpa's rifle. Is 20-year-old kids calling their dad's old man? I don't know. If I had a serial number, I don't know if it has a serial number, but if it wouldn't trace to me anyways, he says. I worry about prints I had to leave it in a bush where I changed my outfits. Dude. Okay, yeah. He does have a trans lover, okay? He uses the word outfits as a man. Okay. Sounds like it's a chapter from my gay novel. Yeah, it sounds like something from Twilight. Don't you dare say anything negative about Twilight. I left it in the bush where I changed my outfits. Didn't have any ability to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hope they didn't find my prints. How the fuck? Well, I explained losing it to my old man. Only thing I left was a rifle wrapped in the towel. Remember how I was engraving bullets? That's like the weirdest thing for me. It's like, again, remember, keep in mind that there's these dots in between this conversation. That's why it seems like all over the place. Again, they're not telling us everything. He goes on to say, remember how I was engraving bullets? Dude, if you're roommates with somebody and they're like in their room engraving bullets, and obviously his gay lover knows that he was engraving bullets, okay? Remember how I was engraving bullets? And your gay lover didn't go, why are you engraving those bullets, bro? This is 410 green text type-ish. Please continue reading as a flaming homosexual. Okay, hold on. Flaming homosexual. Oh my God. Hold on. Remember how I was engraving bullets? The f***ing messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notices bulge ooh-wee on Fox News. I might have a stroke. All right, I'm going to leave it. That's really f***ing sucks. Judging from the day, I think Grandpa's gun does just fine. I think it was a $2,000 scope. Ooh-wee. Isn't that what that is? I don't know. You kids tell me in the chat. You guys are kids. Is this what it... Ooh-wee. Then Robinson goes on to say, delete the message. My dad wants photos of his rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know, again, this is the ... So I don't know what happened after he said the $2,000 scope. Like, what was that conversation? After he said, my gun did just fine, $2,000 scope. What did his roommate say back? Robinson goes on to say, my dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo of the rifle, and it's very unique. It's so unique. He's calling me right now, not answering. Robinson then ... So, like, how did his roommate respond? Like, give us the information. Robinson then says, since Trump got in office, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA. It's just like, what? This is like the most random bits of information. It seems too on the nose. Why are you showing us this? And again, he could totally be texting this. But what is the context of this tweet? I mean, this text. Since Trump's gotten in office, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA, ... Nothing. We don't know what happened. Then Robinson says, I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is just a deputy for the sheriff. And then Robinson says, you're all I worry about, my love. And that's where ABC goes, oh my God. This is a love story. And the roommate says, I'm much more worried about you. Robinson says, don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments or do any TikTok dancing videos of me. Okay, I edited that part in. If you ask police any questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent. Unlike when you're with me. So the police searched Robinson's house and they found, police executed a search warrant on Robinson's residence. During the search, police discovered shell casings with etchings, like the etchings found on the shells of the rifle near Uvu University. Police also found several targets with bullet holes in Robinson's home. Can you tell us what were etched on these rifles, shell casings? I think that could be interesting information. No. I mean, everything about, what's up, Yakubed? Everything about this is so silly. Again, I do think this is probably a deranged leftard that is doing this to impress his furry lover. And again, this is allegedly may or may not be them practicing before the big night. But everything about this, all the information we're getting is so all over the place. Do a Harvey Feinstein voice? What's a Harvey Feinstein voice? Is it something like this? Chris Koch, he's texting like he's concerned he'll be caught. So obvious. He's not concerned he'll be caught. I know. It's so confusing. They're both going to move on from each other. They better not. And that's how the media will spin it. Oh, 100%. 100%. We'll see what actually happens. What's this, a list of chapter to the Hunger Games? Katniss ever gay? Yeah, exactly. And this is a conversation between her and PETA. This is a conversation between her and freaking PETA. I don't know, dude. I feel like I need to hear this one more time. I still can't believe this is freaking real.
Seen an alleged murder with such specific text messages about the alleged murder weapon, where it was hidden, how it was placed, what was on it, but also it was very touching in a way that I think many of us didn't expect.
Yes, it was very touching in a way none of us expected. None of us expected it at all. Hold on, let me get some sexy music.
Was hidden, how it was placed, what was on it, but also it was very touching in a way that I think many of us didn't expect. A very intimate portrait into the placed, what was on it, but also it was very touching in a way that I think many of us didn't expect. A very intimate portrait into this relationship between the suspect's roommate and the suspect himself with him.
Oh, God, I can't believe this is real. It's real, man. Everything. Everything about this is so weird to me. Everything about this is so weird. Down to the fact that I don't know if you guys saw this. But remember the guy that obstructed him from actually being caught? Remember the guy that was getting arrested and he was like telling people, he was like, me, and he was like screaming at George Zinn. Apparently TMZ is reporting that George Zinn, the man who falsely told police he shot Charlie Kirk moments after the attack, has now been charged with possessing child porn. I'm literally about to put my my conspiracy cap on in about 2 seconds. I think I need to bring back the conspiracy cap because really? What? So tender and intimate. I know. They released it to try to humanize him. It's BS. Oh my God. That's so spot on. That's so freaking spot on. They're like, actually, we should feel sorry for this guy because actually, maybe his, trans lover like forced him to do it or manipulated him to do it. And there is like weird reports. So I don't know if you guys watched Candace Owens today, but Candace Owens was talking about, she has some text messages from the Twigs guy, his boyfriend, the Twigs guy, from family members of the Twigs guy. And apparently the Twigs guy has been a raging alcoholic and has been off the rails for a while now. And the things that are being said about him as well is that he's like a really nice kid and they didn't see this coming. And Tyler's like a genuine kid. I just don't understand. I think people can lie and manipulate and stuff like that. Not everything's a conspiracy theory, of course. But some of this stuff is just a little interesting to me. I think it's, though it is very exciting to see that CBS has to openly admit on CBS that this guy had left-hard views. Now they have to like deal with the fact that this guy had left-hard views.
It's also important to note that the charges were aggravated by the fact, this is now according to Mr. Gray, they were aggravated by the fact that this was a political murder, that the aggravated murder was committed because of Charlie Kirk's political views.
Wait a minute. This guy's not a groiper? Oh man, shoot. Hey man, it's time to let it go. Okay, I'm in the boat with you, man. It's time to let it go. Just kidding, you look fabulous. So tender, so intimate, they released to humanize him. That's 100%. The story gets crazier all the time. I know, just give it another 4 more hours. We'll have some more information we can digest and figure out what the hell's going on. Just give it 4 more hours and we'll figure out what's going on. I mean, that's all it freaking takes. Scott Jennings absolutely destroys CNN. It's wonderful to see regarding this whole thing. Hold on, let me put a Zen pouch in real quick, says Will. Swill, nice. What flavor we working with? I'm a fan of the citrus blends, cause I am really says he's a loon. He's a professional protester, goes to all this kind of stuff. I did see that about the Zen guy, the Robert guy that got charged with child corn. And for those of you who don't know why I'm calling it corn, just look up YouTube language. But we say it all the time on here by accident. I'm not the best with YouTube stuff. I'm not a fascist when it comes to language on here. But apparently the guy is very famous for doing these sorts of things. Also been interviewed about 9/11 and stuff like that. So he's got a rap sheet a little bit. Interesting to find out that he does have child corn on his phone though. Very interesting. Zen pouch is cheese flavor. Disgusting. Ew, dude. Okay. Gross, dude. All right, here's Scott Jennings destroying CNN in front of their faces. And you know you're winning the argument when you're sitting back like this. Go ahead. I'll let you say what you need to say. Go ahead. No, say it. I'll let you say it. Okay? I'll let you look nuts. Okay? Go ahead and say it for us.
Groups. And I think when you start to bleed those two concepts together and create this notion that in this incredibly fraught moment, in the wake of this horrific, horrific shooting, when you foment the idea that we have to be at each other's throats politically,
we do.
I think that's a dangerous place to be.
Why did I do it? I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out.
So can I ask you? So
he has flat.
Scott, just explain what you just read.
That is the message that the shooter, Tyler Robinson, sent to his roommate. That is what he said. He also engraved the word, "Hey, fascist, catch," on the bullet. For 10 years, we have heard nothing from the left but that Donald Trump is a fascist, Republicans are Nazis, authoritarians, destroy the Constitution, bloodbath, dictator for a day. And he wrote it on the bullet.
You know, all these women on CNN are like, yeah, but all that's 100% true. And we're going to keep saying it. We don't care if somebody is psychotic or high on drugs. It's going to take our words and twist it and create this paranormal fantasy dream of taking out fascists. It's okay to punch fascists. And that's how I cope through life. Is just saying that to myself over and over again. That's how I cope.
For 10 years, we have heard nothing from the left but that Donald Trump is a fascist, Republicans are Nazis, authoritarians, destroy the Constitution, bloodbath, dictator for a day. And he wrote it on the bullet.
So can I ask you?
And he's been obviously marinating in some kind of information that radicalized him based on what he heard in the air in this country.
So does the shooter who assassinated Melissa Hortman, who was a stated Trump supporter, whose roommate said...
Yeah. God, here's the whataboutism. They just come in so hard with the what about Melissa Hortman, huh? You ever thought about that one, MAGA? He stated while he was in prison for the rest of his life that he was full MAGA. Yeah, and you believe him? The guy that apparently worked for Tim Walz, the guy that shot her after that she passed a bill, was one of the tying votes to pass a bill to give illegal immigrants to not give illegal immigrants health care. It's like there's an important thing that Democrats don't actually like to talk about is a little thing called context. Context is hard because you have to have a brain that's bigger than two pea sizes. What about this? What about that? What about this? What?
Radicalized him.
False equivalency. 100% of false equivalency. 100%.
What he heard.
Also, the guy that killed her knew her. Okay, so this is like, we don't actually know what happened. Maybe they just had like some fight about some things, or maybe he was nuts, or maybe he was crazy. If he goes to jail for the rest of his life, he's like, you know, it'd be crazy. What if I just told everybody I was MAGA? And then everyone goes, oh, see, he's a right-winger. Even though he worked for Tim Walz, which makes no sense. Yeah. My name's Derek O'Shea, and I'm very right-leaning. I'm happy to go work for Kamala Harris anytime she wants. No, dude, no. They would never hire me, ever. They would never hire me.
Some kind of information that radicalized him based on what he heard in the air in this country.
So does the shooter who assassinated Melissa Hortman, who was a stated Trump
supporter,
thought
of that?
Whose roommate said...
Are you trying to equate these two things?
Does he represent... Can you let me finish my thought, please?
Please.
Yeah.
We're talking about two people in...
A woman is speaking. I'm speaking. God, this white...
in politics who both...
I'm asking you, does that shooter represent the entirety of the MAGA movement? Of course not. I would never argue that. I don't think you would argue that. So why is it acceptable to use this moment to argue that somebody, a sick individual who committed a horrific crime,
how do you know he's sick?
Is somehow... Are you here to argue for his sanity?
I'm here to argue. All I know is what the prosecutor said today. He read very lucid messages from a shooter who was motivated by political hate, who had a plan to get away with it. He did not sound like a deranged person. He sounded like someone who had decided to take it upon himself to rid the world of someone that he hated politically, that he thought that the world would be better off without that. That's different than some deranged lunatic showing up off the street.
His actions were horrific, but to assign the specific hateful, violent, awful actions of somebody on an individual on the right or an individual on the left
I don't know that
to
you're
the
right about what
entirety
happened in
of the
Minnesota.
political conversation is incredibly dangerous and irresponsible in this moment.
Well, I think it's dangerous and irresponsible for nobody to take responsibility.
You know why it's dangerous and irresponsible? Because it makes your side look like okay? It makes you guys look really bad. Okay, and here's what I know psychologically what is happening to her as we speak. She is being cornered and she is being forced to analyze her own core beliefs. And her own core beliefs are like, this doesn't lead to violence. Yeah, it does. Have you even watched anything from the left online about anything that they say? They're happy to punch Nazis in the face. You go to all these Charlie Kirk vigils and they're like kicking down stuff and they're destroying things and they're gleaning about that. They're singing songs about what's going on. They're happy to see things get absolutely ruined. They're happy to see all these sorts of things. I mean, just look at this one. This was posted not too long ago. A 19-year-old kid at a Charlie Kirk vigil just goes in the middle of the vigil with like all these flowers, these American flag things and everything, and just starts kicking stuff down. You are the party of violence. This is a violent act to go where people are mourning and deciding to ruin everything and kick things down. This is they can't cope with this right now, and that's why you're watching them do mental gymnastics like nobody's business. I mean, you have to, if you're 19 years old and you're going to something like this, you're not a good person. You're a bad human being. Take those Vans off. Dude, it is like so refreshing to see somebody actually take out one of these people. Isn't it like there's so many men who just sit by and go, well, I'm not going to do anything. But this guy's like, no, I'm going to grab you. I'm going to grab you. I'm going to grab you. Especially with those tiny little legs. Never skip leg day, boys. Never skip leg day. Boom. Dude, you're getting beat up by boomers. Morning, JR. Chris says there are real Nazis in the world. Notice these soft MFers don't go fight them. Of course not. Yeah, go to prison and fight a real white supremacist. If you really hate Nazis so much, go to prison. You'll find some Aryan race people there. Or go to Ukraine. Go beat up the Azov battalion. And then pinned him up against the wall. And apparently this kid was wearing the same shirt as the guy that shot Charlie Kirk. Dude, that is a copycat. You're nuts. Like, if you go to a vigil and start kicking down stuff and are wearing the same shirt, I'm okay with being locked up for the rest of your life. At 19. He's 19 years old. Oh my God, dude. Have these people that are doing these little visual kicking down things that are in their early teens, early 20s, bro, you are going to regret that in like 10 to 15 years. Imagine having a video of yourself when you're at the peak at your testosterone levels and just kind of off the rocker and not fully developed brains, and that there's videos of you online like kicking down vigils and stuff like that, and you have a change of heart. That would be the most embarrassing thing ever. And these kids, I'm like, what are you doing, man? This is why you don't get involved in politics at this early of age, at this violent of a level. So he's getting pinned up against the wall. And see, look, he's literally wearing the same shirt. It's so funny. It's just for the memes. Everything's funny about this. It's hilarious. Oh, this is like the best day of my life. Look. Oh my God. Look at this face right here. This kid's like, I'm literally Luigi Mangione right now. All these leftist women are going to be slamming into my DMs. Oh God. I'm so tired of these little political activists. I'm just like, oh God, they're just the worst. We're deporting the wrong people. He's just smiling. He's smiling, having a good time. He's like, yeah, I did it. I'm going to get away with it. I'm 19. It's not going to be on my record the rest of my life. Nothing about this matters. So don't spare me your your equivalency or trying to say that the right is just as dangerous as the left. Shut up. I don't know any right-wingers that are doing that kind of crap. No right-wingers would go up to a vigil like that and start kicking down stuff. The left should just be glad that the right has some kind of emotional regulation or can like compartmentalize anger. Is he wearing eyeliner? When are they not, dude? So CNN brought Jasmine Crockett to the party to make her finally admit that maybe talking and saying Trump is Hitler is probably not a good thing, and watch her jump around.
I'd like to ask you to respond to critics who have pointed the finger at Democrats who have used phrases like fascist or Hitler, made comparisons.
Yeah, she's like, I would never say those sorts of things. Guyliner.
To those things over time. Do you think that that's contributed to this, or are those critics wrong?
They're absolutely wrong.
Yeah, they're wrong. They're wrong. We can call right-wingers whatever we want. We can say it's the second coming of Hitler and that he's going to be locking up people and putting people in internment camps. And he's going to be dropping nukes over people, and he's going to start doing like experimental things on people. It's not the same thing. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. As if like leadership doesn't affect people that are underneath the leadership.
Here's the reality. They don't want American people to know any forms of history. We know that there was news out today about the president going after yet more historical information. The reality is that when we look at what is taking place, when you look at an authoritarian, and what they do is they try to basically say, you have to do whatever the government says, even if that means that your personal freedoms are going to be subjected to whatever we say, whether it's right or wrong. What? Right now, our personal freedoms are constantly under attack. Your first question was specifically about our First Amendment rights. Right now, it is about doing whatever the man who currently occupies the White House wants done. There should not be anyone that faces consequences because they actually know history, and they are trying to prevent even more disaster and harm from coming to the American people.
Yeah, you know who knows history? Jasmine Crockett. Shut up, dude. Maybe he's wearing eyeliner in public to get public to sell outside his quarantine watch. Yeah, maybe. Nobody knows history. Yeah. Jasmine Crockett is a huge history buff. That's why she talks and calls Donald Trump Hitler. She knows.
What crosses the line is when you say things, especially on air, like, yes, euthanize homeless people. That is a problem. Or when you're having a rally and you start talking about beating up people and causing physical harm. Or when you joke.
When you have a rally and you talk about beating up people, that's literally what the left does. You guys say punch a Nazi in his face. And you say that word, so it's like the average normie goes, yeah, I'm against Nazis. Yeah, I'm against Nazis. Yeah, if I'm against Nazis, it should be okay for me to punch them in the face. That's totally fine. Not a big deal here. Nothing to worry about right here. Nothing at all. Okay, this is like one of the crazier videos that happened at a vigil. And this is in Texas, of all places. Like, what the frick, dude? This is in Texas. Watch this like black kid pretend that he's like Charlie Kirk being shot. Everything's for the meme of it with this culture, man. Oh, it's all a joke. Nothing's real. It's all fake. It's like, yeah, you're a little bit of a sociopath. It's not all fake. It's not all for just memes. There's like literal people that are affected by this, bro. And apparently the University of Texas did kick him out, by the way. That just came out. Oh snap, that's crazy, dude. Oh snap. Oh snap, you a real one for that, man. You a real one, you dope. You sick as man, you so sick. Oh my God, you sick, you crazy. Oh. He's like, let me go even bigger. I'm gonna go to the top and show him. Let's get a little zoom in. So here he is climbing to the top. Also, nice pants. And then he goes, I'm Charlie Kirk.
My name is Charlie Kirk.
Dude, I wish that this kid with this American flag would have just, when he went to the ground, just went right in his nuts. Because you deserve it, you freaking sicko. You deserve it. Okay. That was way too close of a crotch shot. That was way too... Are you racist? No. What the frick is your problem, Mindbender? God. Fake text, no one is buying it. How do you know for sure? Because it's too spot on. It's too freaking spot on. Okay, even at this Charlie Kirk vigil as well, right here, this person starts singing the anti-fascist song that the left was trying to say was actually a Groiper song, which is actually absolutely stupid. Yeah, they're not totally deranged and totally nuts. They're actually really good people. They're actually, I totally agree now. I see what they're saying. They're really good people. Both parties are corrupt. Yeah, Mindbender, you're in the right place. I think Republicans are just as corrupt as Democrats. Absolutely. I also have a lot of black friends, though. Man, I love black people. I love my black people. And then also another insane leftist starts singing a song at a Charlie Kirk vigil because she's absolutely nuts and absolutely crazy. Probably because 12-year-olds pretend to be gay. They think it's funny and cool. They hit 30 and wonder why they never have been with a woman. That is actually probably 100% true. Bashetta. A lot of generations think that they are non-binary and gay because they don't want to actually put a label. It's like cringe to label yourself. Like if you're saying like I'm straight or gay, it's like, wow, you're really going to commit to that? Why don't you just be more open to everything? Crazy. Okay, at this Charlie Kirk vigil, this woman starts singing this song. I think it's a woman. Now that I'm looking, I think I'm seeing something else. Okay. Here's a psychopathic song for the party of love, empathy, and acceptance. The guy just said, "We're praying for you. You're in a very dark place."
I don't want your salvations.
Why?
I want you to fucking die.
Oh, so nice. Really great people over here. Yeah, you can have a conversation with people like this. Yeah, they're normal. They're totally not off the rocker. They're actually really good people, just misunderstood.
I want you to fucking die. We're not gonna give you a second chance, even when you beg for it on your knees, begging and pleading.
You know what? There's more to a guitar than chords C, G, and D. Thank you. You look at him, he's like, I want you to effing die, and he looks up. What a nutcase, dude. They think they were doing something new and different. No, yeah, totally. Then they become incels, yeah. Mark says, some just didn't have the guts to fight for their... some just didn't have the guts to go fight for their girl, so they lost and refused to try. Gay guys are easier. Really not funny, but I must laugh. Dude, if you're not laughing, you're freaking crying, dude. If you're not laughing, you're freaking crying at this point. Okay. Let's all be confrontinists together. God, I can't even say that word. Shoot, dude. It's been one of those days, man. It was a long day at work. It was a long day. Doing a lot of different stuff. All right, I'm going to finish this stream off with this video of Greg Gutfeld. Dude, Greg Gutfeld is, I think he's taking the late night host and he's bringing it to Fox 5 and he's dropping bombs over Baghdad.
And this is going to be a learning experience, not just for the people who saw this coming, but for the people.
I also love Greg Gutfeld is doing these serious monologues when he has this little poop. He's got his poop mug in front of him. dude, Craig, if you're gonna do a serious monologue, drop the poop mug, put it by your pants or something. Put it in between your legs. Don't let the people see that kind of thing. It's hard to take you serious, Hall.
Be a learning experience, not just for the people who saw this coming, but for the people who have to reconcile their role in this. He said some hatred can't be negotiated with. Well, where did that belief actually come from? It sounds really familiar. If
like all mainstream leftist views, that's where it comes from.
You designate the other side as Hitlerian or fascist, why would you negotiate with them? We said that many times. This rhetoric has been part of the Democratic media industry complex for the past decade.
And again, I can't emphasize this enough too. Like, yes, that's a Fox News talking point, but bring it in a little closer. A lot of these kids are not being radicalized on Fox News. I mean, on MSNBC. They're being radicalized by their friends in these Discord and Reddit groups. And that's a bigger conversation that people aren't ready for. It's the painting the media or MSNBC as like this horrible thing. Yes, their words have meaning and could fuel a lot of this. But these Discord and Reddit servers and Reddit threads are horrible places. And these Discord and Reddit and places like that, they don't even care. It's like Twitch. Twitch's largest streamer, Hassan, will literally call for murder of people. And they're like, you know what? We'll give you like a 2 hour delay tonight. We're not going to look into it. You're like a good guy. You're the left's Joe Rogan, as New York Times wants you to believe, as he like calls for murder for people, of sitting people in political office. And they're like, yeah, he's actually a pretty good guy. Or like saying like America deserved 9/11, things like this. They've also been online since they were 10 years old. Yeah, true. Kids have no respect nowadays, constantly swearing and vaping. Dude, vape, dude, is too much. I know all these kids, like I'll meet with these kids and they'll just vape in front of me. I'm like, can you not do that right now? And they're like, you can't smell it. And I'm like, dude, people that vape, I want you to know we can smell it. And it's not a very great smell. You have a good night, Bichetta.
They believe that they didn't have to debate us because we were deplorable. If you remove, or irredeemable, if you remove debate, the only thing that's left is violence. It's the most regressive act you can imagine. This was the product of mass hysteria that then cemented into a belief. And we need to end it. We can't let another one of these things happen, and that means confronting the people that actually still believe this. I think you do need the death penalty for this, because this could be a sanctioned evil. You see people treating Luigi like a folk hero. Why does that happen? It could happen again.
I showed you this morning. If you didn't watch my show this morning, we went through them celebrating Luigi Mangione getting lesser charges.
Mutually assured destruction. If you take somebody's life, we're going to take yours, and this is the time for it. Also, there's an amazing contrast here that gets rid of the both sides argument. After Floyd, you had sanctioned riots for 3 months. You had dozens dead. After this, you had vigils, you have mourning, grief, and justice. We don't label people evil and then sanction their death. Our response is through the courts and by the law. Everything flows from that. Conservatives and Republicans have been called square forever because we're so hokey about law. Why didn't we riot? Because we don't like doing that. We inherently believe in law and order, and we expect that in others. So this is the right way to do that. I just want to end on this. His rhetoric, which is derived from the Democrats, has done the Democrats irreparable damage by exempting them from debate.
I totally agree.
They never had to prove the validity of their ideas. All they had to do was implement them, watch them fail, and then demonize the critics. Now they've reached the end point. This is the end point. They have demonized to a point where an innocent, brilliant man died. But now they also have no policies because they never had to debate. They never had to prove their worth. They have no ideas. They have no meaning. They have no value. They're a soulless whole after relying on this demonizing rhetoric to carry the load of their party. Without it, it's just an empty abyss.
It'd be interesting, Kasie.
I think Democrats aren't realizing how many normies are done with the Democrat Party after this. I think like they seriously have no idea the ramifications and what has come. Fake texts, I'm wondering that too. We'll see what actually happens. Again, I always say when it comes to this sort of thing, when tensions are high, when emotions are high, we're all over the place and we're getting news and information from an FBI, which I don't trust the FBI. I take them with a grain of salt. It might all be true. The texts might all be real. But there's definitely context in which is taken out of these texts, and I wonder what that context is with those ... I say always give it another 48 hours. We'll see what happens with these text messages. I will keep on tabs of these messages and keep tabs of everything that's going on when it comes to this stuff. I like to take things a little slow before I make an absolute call. Fence sitting, whatever, but it feels interesting. I tend to like the idea or the conspiracy that those text messages are his way to get his boyfriend scot-free. And they were just a lie, and it was part of the plan so that he takes the fall and his boyfriend doesn't take the fall. I like that theory. It makes a lot of sense. It makes complete sense. Outside of the government's just lying and he's a patsy and there's actually real people out there and they're governments from foreign governments. I'm not totally sure. That would be a crazy rabbit hole to go down. But if they are, whoever that government is, I fully support because I don't want them to do it to me. Okay. I'm just kidding. Still missed about Luigiani. New York was always going to try dropping charges. Yeah, true. Amazing how the text lay out the assassination after it occurs, but there's no conversation before the event. I wonder about all that stuff too. That theory makes sense. It makes sense to me too. All right, guys, I'm going to go. I appreciate you guys for being here. I hope this hour has been really fun for you. We'll have a show in the morning. Come look out for that. Just so you know, tomorrow night's show will probably be a little earlier than normal due to I'm going to a concert tomorrow night. Little nervous about that. It's an outdoor concert. God, really hope nothing happens. So I'll be going to a concert tomorrow night, but we will have a show tomorrow. So look out for that. We'll have a good time. We'll probably have more information. We'll have more things to go through. I'm excited to see what actually happens and other theories that pop up from this. I'm always happy to be swayed in a direction if I'm completely wrong. Peace out, guys. I'll see you guys in the morning. Drop a like on this video if you don't mind as well and put a comment below.